Shalom, it's falling ashore. Welcome again to the Rock. In today's society, there are always systems, and there are ever-growing systems that seek to control you. Whether it be your food, where you get it from, where you buy your clothing, your accessibility to food and clothing. How about your accessibility to clean water? Or what they call the power company, electricity. By that system, they control your ability to stay warm or stay cold. Financially, they lump everybody into these reservation centers, which I call the reservation. I call the major city the reservation. They lump everybody and push everybody to go into those reservation centers so that you could be controlled. They control families. They control marriage. That's what your marriage license is for. Control. You don't know what marriage licenses started from? Go do some research of when marriage licenses started. Gun control. How about the medical field? How about childbirth? How about the school system? See, these are all systems that are there to get you to live your life how they want you to live it, religiously or spiritually. In this faith, even, we have control systems that have been set up by men to control people outside of the commands of the Most High Yah. See, these systems, the longer and the stronger these systems become, the more you are relying on said systems for your life. Because if they control enough systems, they control you. You can sit back and say whatever you want to until you're blue in the face, but at the end of the day, they control what you think, they control what you eat, they control what you drink, they control who you can marry, who you can't marry, they control what happens to your children. If she decides to walk away and leave you, they control it, what your children are learning in school. They control everything. And when you are a person that says, I don't want to be controlled, I want to live a life. I'm not out here to try and destroy and break up society and anarchy. That's not what I believe in. I just don't believe in your system. I don't believe in playing the game the way you want it to be played. I believe in the Bible. I believe in what the book says. When you say that, those that are dependent on the system, those that are benefiting from the system, are going to look at you like you're crazy. But yet, it should not stop you from your continual movement to separate yourself from the system, from the systems that are there to control. These systems that are created are there to control you. The systems that are created outside of the confines of Yah are, in one way or another, there to control you. This is why they are so powerful. This is why they are so important. And there are people that move toward the system, and then there are people that move away from the system. There are people that move toward the system and say, hey, I'm benefiting from the system. I want to be part of this system. I want to go further into the system. There are those on the fringes of the system who stay close enough to the system that they can run back to it if they need to. Meanwhile, believing in their mind that they are separating themselves from the very system that they intentionally remain close enough to. There are those that just say, to hell with it, I'll just be part of the system. Understanding that the results are going to be control. See, I for myself, I strive for, and as much as I possibly can, to come out of her. These systems that are created, not by Yah, including the religious system, that are not created by Yah, but are created by men in efforts to control you, in efforts to take away your ability to think, your ability to move, to take away any vision that the Most High puts inside of you, to take away any fire that's put inside of you. You see a system that teaches single women it's better for them to remain single. and has even convinced them by the benefits of the system that it's advantageous for them to stay single. This system tells men it's okay to subjugate yourself to more men if it means that there's a possibility that you may climb the ladder. I'm not talking about biblical subjugation. I'm not talking about submitting yourselves one to another, as the book says. I'm talking about literal subjugation. The turning over of what Yah has given you as a man. The turning over of your testicles to other men. The turning over of your manhood to other men. Just so that you could go along to get along. Now the system has created a culture where they will cancel you. Well, shit, this has been going on in churches for a long time. Churches trying to cancel individuals. Churches trying to cancel men. See, these systems are created to continually keep you in a place of subjugation, of brokenness. Because if men step up and stop being broken, then you could build something. If women step up and actually separate it from the system, which is extremely hard for them to do, because the system, daddy, has taught them, hey, I'll take care of you. If things don't go right, come to me, I'll give you food stamps. If things don't go right, if you don't want to submit to that man, separate from him and I'll give you food stamps. I'll take his children away from you. I'll give you spousal support and child support. I'll do it. And shit, if he won't go to work and pay you your child support, I'll take his driver's license away. I'll throw him in jail. If it means that we can elevate you and keep you in the system. See, when you come out of her and you start seeing these systems for what they are, you start seeing how destructive they are to you. When you start seeing how this system is not just enough to take over your physical body, but they want to take over your mind, they want to take over your spirit, they want to take over every last part of you until there is no differentiation between you and the system. I don't know if you ever seen the old Star Trek with the Borg. They want you to literally think what they think, say what they say, feel what they feel, and if you feel or think or say anything any different, they want you silenced. Happens all the time. Now, churches have taken on the personification, the characteristics of the system. You've got to come out of her. You have to strive to get yourself to a point where they can't govern you. See, most of us today would not know what to do with freedom. We would not know what to do if we actually had freedom. Bible says, Messiah, the spirit of the law of Messiah has made us free from the law of sin and death. Most of us aren't free. We're not delivered from anything except our money, our sanity, our preeminence. That's the only thing we're delivered from. We're not delivered from anything. The truth sets you free. And yet you still see so many people in bondage. But the system has told you that you are free while you're in bondage. They've told you, hey, go out there and keep picking cotton for us. And maybe we'll give you a kickback. Maybe we'll give you a kickback. But keep picking that cotton now. You do a good job picking that cotton. Maybe we'll give you a day off. Maybe we'll give you some of the intestines and the guts from the pig. You call them chitlins. Maybe you can have those things. You see, the striving from this, as the system is now falling, those that have been dependent, the Bible says that if you trust in Egypt, you make Egypt your arm, then whatever happens, because you trust in the shadow of Egypt, when Egypt falls, guess what you're going to do? You're going to fall too, because you made Egypt your covering. And more today, I hear from sisters, and because they made Egypt their covering, and Egypt is falling now, they're realizing being a single sister really isn't what it cut out to be. Living in my van life really isn't cut out what they made it out to be. It's falling apart. And there were those that have spoken about it. There are those that have encouraged. There are those that tried to get people to think, to wake them up. They were watchmen. And nobody wanted to hear it. And now as winter is approaching, it's getting colder. And now people are realizing I don't have the money to pay my electric bill. I don't have the money to pay my rent. I don't have the money to do this, that, and the other. Prices are getting too high. I'm having a hard time eating. Now, everything sounds, now separating from that system sounds so appealing, doesn't it? It sounds so appealing now. Everything sounds appealing when you can no longer do it because you made the wrong choice. But when people were making a sacrifice, when people had counted the costs and were making the moves and doing it, it didn't matter then. I guess the point of this video is to ask you, what side on the system are you on? Are you on the side of come out of her, separate yourself, get back to what the book says, the old paths where you will find rest for your soul, where you will find freedom for your soul? Or are you still on the path, hoping that the system resuscitates itself so that you can continue to reap the benefits of it, knowing damn well that the system is falling apart? Are you one of those that are hoping that it comes back together again so that you could continue on your life while you still say you love Yah, but you're dependent on the system? Not Yah's system, not the biblical system that he has established all throughout the law, all throughout the prophets, all throughout the gospels, all throughout the epistles. Not that system, not the system that's based on the law, the system that's based on your law, the system that's based on an Egyptian, Roman, Babylonian system. It's like a pyramid scheme. Those at the top will continue to reap the benefits, while they continue to punish and subjugate the ones at the bottom. If coming out of the ways that you've been thinking has always been something you've struggled with, well, I'm going to tell you right now, if you don't make the decision to fully come out, you may not ever be able to make that decision to fully come out again. Playtime is over. The game is up. And if you have not noticed and viewed and witnessed that they are playing a game and they are about to take their ball and go home, then you've been missing it. You've been missing the warnings. You've been missing the heeds and the cries and people alerting you. The sword is coming. And you've been trying to entertain yourself. Life is more than entertainment. It's about serving Yah, keeping the commandments, and if you applied the wisdom, the belief in Yeshua HaMashiach, the infilling and indwelling of the Ruach HaKodesh, and if you had those things, the spirit of truth, the way, the truth, and the life, and the truth being the law, if you had those things, you still wouldn't be sitting there, dependent solely, fully on this system. Shalom.